Hello, this is Life Stories. My name is Justine, your host, and I warmly welcome you to the show. The Olympics is the most highly esteemed and distinguished sporting event in history. Men and women talented in sports live for the day they will participate at the Olympics. It is not a small feat, though, to win a medal at these games. 12th August, the year 2012, has already been written in the annals of history as the day Uganda's fortune changed with the gold medal win over one Stephen Kiprotich at the World Olympics in London. This is a double-edged story. First, it's Uganda's first time in 40 years to win this precious accolade. And second, it is a rags to riches story for Stephen Kiprotich. Today on the show, you meet the man who returned the country's glory, Stephen Kiprotich. I'm standing in front of the Sipi waterfalls that live in Kapchorwa district. This also happens to be the home of the Sebei people, where Kiprotich comes from. On the show today, we meet Stephen Kiprotich, world marathon champion, Olympics 2012, his family, his parents, and his people. Until Sunday, August 12th, the year 2012, Uganda's only gold medalist was the late John Akibua, the 400-meter hurdler who won in Munich in the year 1972. Stephen Kiprotich beat two-time world marathon champion Abel Kirui and reigning marathon champion Wilson Kipsang, both from Kenya, to a gold medal on his first appearance at the London 2012 Olympic Games. Uganda had long stood in the shadow of neighboring Kenya, and when he crossed that finish line in London, Stephen Kiprotich told many stories that inspire hope and resilience in a nation. You're watching Life Stories. We're in a place called Cheptiliao village in Tegeres sub-county, Tegeres parish. I'm in the home of the proud couple that gave birth to our gold medalist. And next on the show, we're going to talk to Stephen Kiprotich himself. He's the gold medalist. How are you, Mr. Stephen Kiprotich?
I'm fine, madam.
How has been your day?
I say my day has been good. So I've been up and down for the ceremonies.
Oh, it's a Sunday. Yeah. So how is home?
Home is best.
Oh.
Although I went to London, I came back. I have to come back up to this village.
Oh.
So I say this is the best place ever in my life. Yeah.
So welcome back from London.
Thank you.
Do you know how proud you made us?
No, you can tell me.
Thank you so much for what you did.
Thank you.
Long-awaited gold, you can imagine.
Thank you.
So who's Stephen Kiprotich?
Stephen Kiprotich is a born of Kiptui and my mother Kukopyetum in this village, Cheptilial village, Tegeres sub-county, Kapchorwa district, Sebei region. This is the place where I was born, and this is where I start everything. I start my training, I start my education as I have just come from my school for prayer service, and this is where I start everything.
Stephen Kiprotich was born 23 years ago in Kapchorwa district to Mr. and Mrs. Kiptui, who are subsistence farmers in Tegeres village. He grew up as a sixth child in a family of 7. Kiprotich attended Kamini Primary School in Kapchorwa district and later Sebei College, where he dropped out in Form 5.
So after there, I came back, I started my training. Life was very hard to catch up with the education, so instead I just come to my sense that instead of just staying being a village boy, I start running. Because
so at what level did you drop out?
That's Senior 5. Senior 5, I joined Senior 5 only one time, but things were not going on well.
What things?
Like the education, the school fees. Also, I was given a scholarship in Sebei College, but I was minding of in the future who is going to assist me in the future. So I had
Why
to.
were you given a scholarship?
I was given a scholarship because of athletics running. The running, I was doing sports. Then something came into my mind that now if you study after senior 6, who is going to pay? There are other things I was supposed to buy I myself. You know, I was offered a school sponsor. My parents could not manage to raise other things, other facilities. So I had to do. So when I put all those in my mind, it was a big task. So I just dropped. I thought of doing a business, but I was not good in the business. So there was no money to start the business actually. Yeah, I may be good. I might have been good in the business, but there was no capital. So I decided that let me run. Maybe sometimes things may change, and I've seen things have changed.
You did not run because it was a passion, but because your parents failed to sustain you in school.
Yes, but I was offered a scholarship, so the parents failed to sustain, so there was nothing again to do.
About the time when you were a child, there is a kwashiorkor epidemic that had attacked your area. Were you a victim as a child?
Those are the things now I was told after when my health was changing, that we didn't know even you can be alive at this time. Because I'm told that I was affected with the kwashiorkor, because the parents didn't have anything to support. So they were just feeding me with local herbs. They could not take me to the hospital and also to get some other treatment. So they were using local herbs. That's what I was told. We used to walk long distance. Life was very hard. We could walk to school, or we could walk to look for food.
How long was the distance?
The distance is like 15 kilometers. We used to go down there, so they call it down there, to collect food. That's why I'm saying the life was very hard, because we did not have even enough land to plant, to put commercial, to plant maize, plant food. So we used just to travel, look for food. So we had a small land with my father and my mother purchased after they were brought from the forest.
How many children were you?
In our family we were 7. 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and we are all alive.
Good for you. Among you, the 7 children, your parents managed to sustain only one child up to the end of his education?
Yeah. As I dropped out from school, I was running every competition I go. I was always the best. I could get something small. I had my brother who is younger than me. So something came into my mind that instead of him stopping school, and so I could get the small I get, I sponsor him, I pay him his school fees, because he was not a runner. He would have acquired the education I got. But now I paid him, and now he finished college, and now he's doing a diploma in teaching. He goes for holiday program.
So even before you...
but as per now, he's a qualified teacher for primary teaching, but he has nowhere to work. Now those are some of the challenges I am seeing, that if I ask myself, if I was to continue for education, I would be also suffering like him. Because I could see now people finish school, no jobs, no more jobs. You find someone has finished senior 6, is at home. But what I could say is that it's an advantage for someone who has finished school and is at home, not like me who finish and stay at home. Because anytime they may call him to come and have. Also, I always woke up very early in the morning before I get out of my house. I always ask God to do something for me. Yeah, I pray to God, and before I wake up, when I wake up, I pray to God before I do anything. And also, when you pray to God, you know what you ask strength, ask knowledge, and also to guide you in your day program. So the money I could actually to get some small money. That's why I put my small house
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, and that whenever I go, my wife and my children are enjoying part of my life and stay in a good house. But now this one, I know most of the people don't see this one is a good house, but in this village, it's a good house.
Okay. Tell me, how easy was it for you to get yourself out there? Did you do some networking?
The way I got to Kenya is that I could walk up to the border from my home ground here. I could walk up to Swamp, around 90 kilometers footing. So at the end, I think it was, that's why I was not doing even much in the track because of the distance. You run until you lose, you walk until you lose speed. I think it was part of my training because I could walk up to the border, I get the matatu and then I go to Kenya, come back up to the border, I sleep there. In the morning you walk because our roads are poor. Someone can use a car, but you walk and you reach here before the car arrives. See? So that's where some of the challenges I faced, although to contribute to the Olympics.
Next on the show, we hear his meeting point with athletes. 6 years ago, Stephen Kiprotich left his family in Uganda, packed his belongings and moved to Kenya, where athletics training is king. He was only 17 years old. So Stephen, when did you realize your potential or talent in athletics?
That's 2006 after I dropped from school, and 2006 I started training. I trained for 2 months only, then I make the Ugandan team to Fukuoka, World Cross Country, where I was number 24. Then later I came, I trained little bit. I shifted my training from my home area to Bukwa, that is Bukwa district, where I trained. 2007 I was in, no, before 2007 I ran MTN, where I was number 4 in 10 kilometers. So that's that's when I got the big prize of money. I've never seen before, 200,000 and 50. I pocketed it. Then I didn't add all that money. I brought that money. I brought to my mom to save for me. As I took part of it to go and maintain myself in Buko. And later, 2007, I make the team again. That's World Junior. I make a junior team to Mombasa, where I was number 19. Why I went to Pukwa is that to interact with some of the athletes in Pukwa and from the whole country. That's when I met Kipsiro in Pukwa, I met Kiplang at Benjamin, and we trained together. We went for competition in national championship where I was number 2. Asked me a ticket to go to Mombasa, World Cross Country in 2007. Then after Mombasa, I found Pukwa is not a good place again to save me because I was still in the same, I've not changed much. Then we changed with Kiplagat and we went to train in Kenya in Iten, where the altitude, because of the altitude is good and so many athletes train there. So I interact with so many athletes. And
coming up on Life Stories, times got tough in Kenya.
Traveling to Kenya and also abandoning my family back in the country.
Week after week, through all the hardships, Kiprotich kept his eyes on the goal, athletics. So Kiprotich, what was your hardest moment in your journey towards Olympics?
What I could say is that, in the training, you need at least some small cash and to facilitate you. Some injuries. When you are at the top, there are some injuries which comes just automatic. What I could say it was hard was that making myself traveling to Kenya and also abandoning my family back in the country.
For how long were you away from your wife and kids while training?
The longest period I left her was when I married her. I left her for 6 months. That's when I was training in Kenya. I think that one is the hardest point because I could not even buy sugar where I was staying. Could not even buy a credit to put in the phone and make communications. Sometimes they may call me and ask me where I am. I could tell them I'm just somewhere near Sudan. You know, somewhere. When you talk of Sudan, you know what was going on in Sudan. And they asked me, are you safe? No, I told them I'm very safe. And also another thing is that when I was preparing, the hardest point it took me was to get my fitness. It took 6 months. That's why I was telling you that I had 3 months off away from my family. We could speak on the phone. At that time, I can't say the problem was finance. The finance was not very bad, but at least I could make a call. I asked how is they going, how are the kids at home, how are my parents. Because I could ask, because he's the person next to my parents, and ask the people in the community, how are the people in the community.
But your relationship was good?
Yeah, the relationship was very good. And always when I call her in the phone, I feel like we are together.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was telling her, keep the kids at home. For me, I'm alive. I'm very sure I'm alive where I am. So I asked her to allow me train, give me time. Whenever she had some complications here at home, she could not tell me because I told her that I'm serious in the training, and she could.
She did not cry?
No, I think she cried when I won the medal. That's the cry she told me, but I don't think that she cried in a way that he was not happy. For me, it was part of the happiness.
During the time you were in Kenya and things were not very easy for her at home, she did not cry?
No, always I encourage her to be patient. I told her that one time, what I am doing, it is going to be for me and the family and Uganda as general.
We're going to go into a short break, and when we return on the show,
Stephen Leva, Kigungarakadin Gavsa.